Domestic violence agencies experiencing an epidemic as reports of domestic abuse worsen with the COVID-19 pandemic. Joining us now to discuss how the pandemic is impacting these organizations is the interim CEO and president of the Connecticut Coalition Against Domestic Violence, Stephen Epler-Epstein. Thanks so much for joining us. First of all, let's just talk about the numbers. This is something many people feared at the beginning of the pandemic. How much of a rise have you seen?
Well, actually, there's been a significant rise in the most complicated cases. The actual volume of calls comes and goes because the situation's been very complicated at different times in the pandemic. What we've seen most clearly is an increase in the number of complicated situations. So in November, for example, domestic violence staff saw 72% more calls that required crisis intervention, the most intense situations, compared to the previous November.
Wow. And are you fearing these numbers might go up as the colder months are here now?
We really hope not. You know, one of the things that happens is that sometimes people are, particularly in the pandemic, people have fewer options and it's harder sometimes to reach out for help. So in a way, sometimes we worry that there won't be the increase in calls for help because it's so much harder for people to reach out.
Yeah, that's a good point there. What are some warning signs that people should look out for? Maybe a family member or friend?
It's a great question. There's not a simple or easy answer because people cope with the violence in their lives in many different ways. But often we find people will know when talking to someone in their life that something isn't right. They may not know what it is. So we would suggest that people just let their radar, prompt you to ask your loved ones, how are you doing? And do you feel safe? And without necessarily knowing that it's domestic violence or any other problem, give them resources. So, we've got the CT Safe Connect hotline. It's available 24/7. And if you give them that information, if they've got CT Safe Connect in the back of their mind, they don't need to tell you that they're reaching out for help, but you can sleep better at night knowing that they've got that resource there.
Yeah. Is there anything that family or friends could do if they believe their loved one might be a victim of domestic violence but isn't seeking that help?
People have to make choices in very complicated situations. And there's we talk in our work about advocacy that's defined by the person experiencing it. So it really varies. But I mean, the main thing is to give them resources, give them options, tell them they can call you any time of day or night and that you'll pick up the phone, tell them that the hotlines are there, tell them that the resources locally are there from domestic violence programs across the state.
All right, and we have that number right there at the bottom of the screen right now, and it's 1-888-774-2900. Stephen, thank you so much for all of that advice.
Thank you. Thank you, Ashley.